Thailand is one of those places that ruins you for everywhere else. Once you have been there, once you have tasted the food, seen the temples, felt the warmth of the people, something shifts inside you, and you spend the rest of your life trying to get back. Today, I want to take you on a journey through one of the most extraordinary countries on earth. We are going to explore hidden islands that look like they were painted by hand. We are going to walk through ancient ruins that most tourists never find. We are going to eat street food that costs less than $1, but delivers flavors so complex that Michelin star chefs fly halfway around the world just to study them. And by the end of this video, I promise you, you will either be booking a flight or you will be lying awake tonight wishing you could. But before we dive in, let me tell you something that most travel videos will not tell you. Thailand is not just beautiful, it is deeply, profoundly weird in the best possible way. It is a country where a 1,000-year-old spiritual tradition exists right next to a neon-lit night market selling fried scorpions. It is a place where monks in saffron robes scroll through smartphones while sitting in temples that were built before Europe had running water. Thailand does not try to make sense. It just exists in this gorgeous, contradictory way, and that is exactly what makes it magic. So let us start where most people start. Bangkok. Now I know what you are thinking. Everyone talks about Bangkok. But here's the thing. Most people experience maybe 5% of what Bangkok actually is. They see the Grand Palace, they ride a tuk-tuk, they visit Khao San Road, and they think they have done it. They have not even scratched the surface. Bangkok is a city of layers, literally. The modern city was built on top of an older city, which was built on top of an even older network of canals and waterways. They used to call Bangkok the Venice of the East, and if you know where to look, you can still see why. There are entire neighborhoods that are only accessible by boat. Communities that have lived along these canals for generations, floating markets where grandmothers paddle wooden boats piled high with tropical fruit, grilled meats, and handmade sweets wrapped in banana leaves. One of my favorite things to do in Bangkok is to wake up before dawn and head to one of the smaller temples that tourists overlook. There is something about watching monks begin their morning alms round as the first light hits the golden spires. The city is quiet in a way that feels almost impossible if you've experienced Bangkok during the day. The air is still cool, the incense is burning. And for just a few minutes, you understand why millions of people over thousands of years have found peace in these rituals. But then the city wakes up. And Bangkok Awake is an assault on every single one of your senses in the most exhilarating way possible. The streets fill with vendors grilling sauté over charcoal. The smell of lemongrass and galangal hits you from every direction. Motorbikes weave between buses. Someone is blasting Thai pop music from a speaker the size of a refrigerator. A cat is sleeping on a pile of durian. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, you will find a tiny plastic stool, a wobbly table, and a bowl of boat noodles that will genuinely change your understanding of what soup can be. Let me talk about Thai food for a moment because it deserves its own chapter. Thai cuisine is arguably the most sophisticated street food culture on the planet. I am not exaggerating. The balance of flavors that Thai cooks achieve, often working out of a cart with a single burner and a wok, is something that takes chefs in other countries years of formal training to even approach. There are 4 fundamental taste pillars in Thai cooking: sweet, sour, salty, and spicy. Every great Thai dish hits all 4, but in different proportions. A green curry leans into the heat but balances it with coconut sweetness and a squeeze of lime. A papaya salad explodes with sour lime and fish sauce funk, but finishes with the crunch of peanuts and the slow burn of bird eye chili. Pad Thai, which most people outside Thailand think of as a simple noodle dish, is actually an incredibly intricate combination of tamarind, palm sugar, dried shrimp, and tofu, all working together in this delicate harmony. And the thing is, the best versions of these dishes are almost never found in restaurants. They are found on the street. They are found at the stall that has been run by the same family for 40 years, where the recipe has been passed down and refined through generations until it is perfect. In Bangkok, there is a street vendor named Jay Fei who earned a Michelin star cooking over a charcoal fire while wearing ski goggles to protect her eyes from the smoke. That tells you everything you need to know about Thai food culture. Excellence does not require marble countertops. It requires obsession, tradition, and really good ingredients. Now let us leave Bangkok for a moment and head north, because northern Thailand is an entirely different world. Chiang Mai sits in a valley surrounded by misty mountains. If Bangkok is the loud, extroverted friend who drags you to a party, Chiang Mai is the thoughtful one who takes you hiking at sunrise and then sits with you over coffee for 3 hours talking about life. The old city of Chiang Mai is surrounded by a moat and ancient walls. Inside you will find over 300 temples. 300. Some of them are enormous complexes with towering golden chedis. Others are tiny, tucked into residential streets, easy to walk right past if you are not paying attention. But each one has a story. Each one was built by someone who believed deeply in something, and that belief is still alive in the walls and the carvings and the faded murals. One of the most incredible experiences in Chiang Mai is visiting Doi Suthep, the temple that sits on a mountain overlooking the entire city. You climb 309 steps up a staircase flanked by serpent sculptures. When you reach the top, you are greeted by a shimmering golden pagoda and a view that stretches to the horizon. On a clear day, you can see the patchwork of rice fields and jungle that blankets the surrounding countryside. Monks live up there full-time. Imagine that as your daily view. But Chiang Mai is not just about temples. It has become one of the creative capitals of Southeast Asia. Artists, writers, musicians, and digital nomads have flocked here because the cost of living is low, the internet is fast, the coffee is world-class, and the quality of life is extraordinary. You can rent a beautiful apartment for a fraction of what you would pay in any Western city, eat incredible food 3 times a day, and still have money left over to take a cooking class, learn Thai boxing, or hire a guide to take you trekking through the highlands where hill tribe communities have maintained their traditional ways of life for centuries. Speaking of the highlands, let me take you further north. Up near the border with Myanmar and Laos, there is a region that most tourists never visit. The mountains here are wrapped in fog more often than not. The roads twist through bamboo forests and terraced rice paddies that cascade down hillsides like green staircases built by giants. Small villages dot the landscape, home to Karen, Hmong, Akha, and Lisu communities, each with their own language, their own textiles, their own ceremonies, and their own relationship with the land. Visiting these communities, when done respectfully and through ethical tourism operators, is one of the most meaningful travel experiences you can have anywhere. You sit with families around a fire, you eat food that was harvested that morning, you learn how they weave the intricate patterns that tell the stories of their people, and you are reminded that the world is much bigger and much more diverse than the internet sometimes makes it seem. Now let us shift directions entirely. Let us talk about the islands. Thailand has over 1,000 islands scattered across 2 coastlines, the Andaman Sea to the west and the Gulf of Thailand to the east, and the variety is staggering. You have probably seen photos of Maya Bay on Koh Phi Phi, those towering limestone cliffs rising straight out of turquoise water. It was made famous by that Leonardo DiCaprio movie, and for good reason. It looks like someone took every tropical fantasy you have ever had and condensed it into one single cove. The Thai government actually closed Maya Bay for several years to allow the marine ecosystem to recover from over-tourism, and when it reopened with new visitor limits, the coral had started to come back. Baby sharks were swimming in the shallows again. It is a powerful reminder that these places are not just backdrops for our photos. They are living systems that need our respect. But Maya Bay is just the beginning. Koh Lipe, way down near the Malaysian border, is a tiny island with some of the clearest water in the country. You can see straight to the bottom in 15 meters of depth. The snorkeling here is almost absurdly good. Schools of tropical fish in every color you can imagine, sea turtles gliding past, coral gardens that look like underwater cities. Then there is Koh Lanta, which has a completely different energy. It is larger, more laid back, with long stretches of beach that are surprisingly uncrowded even in peak season. The old town on the eastern side is built on stilts over the water and has a fascinating multicultural history, with Chinese, Malay, and Thai communities all blending together. Over on the Gulf side, you have Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao. Samui is the most developed, with luxury resorts and international restaurants. Phangan is famous for its full moon party, which is basically a massive beach rave that attracts thousands of people every month. And Koh Tao is one of the best and most affordable places in the world to get scuba certified. The dive sites around this island are phenomenal. Whale sharks pass through these waters, giant groupers lurk in the deeper spots, and the visibility on a good day is like looking through glass. But my personal favorite island, and this is going to sound strange, is one that barely anyone talks about. Koh Yao Noi. It sits right in the middle of Phang Nga Bay, surrounded by those impossible karst formations that jut out of the sea like the teeth of some ancient creature. The island itself is quiet, Muslim fishing communities, rubber plantations, rice paddies, and a handful of small guest houses. You can rent a kayak and paddle through mangrove forests. You can cycle around the entire island in a couple of hours. And at sunset, when the light turns everything amber and the limestone pillars cast long shadows across the water, you will understand something about beauty that words cannot quite capture. Let me bring us back to the mainland for a moment, because there is an entire region of Thailand that gets criminally overlooked: the northeast. Isean. Isan is where Thailand meets Laos, both geographically and culturally. The food here is distinct from what you find in Bangkok or the south. Sticky rice is the staple, eaten with your hands, rolled into little balls, and dipped into fiery chili paste called Ju. Sum tum, the papaya salad I mentioned earlier, actually originates here. And the ASEAN version is significantly more intense than what you find in tourist areas. More chili, more funk from the fermented fish sauce, more raw garlic. It is not for the faint of heart, but it is absolutely glorious. The landscape of Isan is marked by vast plateaus and dramatic sandstone formations. Pha Thiem National Park has cliffs overlooking the Mekong River with prehistoric rock paintings that are thousands of years old. These early inhabitants depicted giant catfish, human figures, and geometric patterns that archaeologists are still trying to fully understand. And then there is the Khmer heritage. Many people do not realize that parts of Thailand were once part of the Khmer Empire, the same civilization that built Angkor Wat in Cambodia. The ruins at Phi Mai and Phanom Rung are stunning examples of Khmer architecture, with elaborately carved sandstone temples, ornate lintels depicting scenes from Hindu mythology, and a sense of scale that rivals anything you will find across the border. Phanom Rung in particular sits on top of an extinct volcano, and during certain times of the year, the sun aligns perfectly with the 15 doorways of the main sanctuary, casting a beam of light straight through the entire structure. The ancient engineers who designed that were not just builders. They were astronomers. Now I want to talk about something that does not get enough attention in travel videos. The people. Thailand is called the Land of Smiles, and while that phrase gets thrown around as a marketing slogan, there is real truth behind it. Thai culture places enormous value on kindness, hospitality, and what they call kreng jai, which roughly translates to a deep consideration for others and a desire not to impose. It shapes every interaction. The way someone greets you with a Y, pressing their palms together and bowing slightly. The way a stranger will go out of their way to help you find directions even if they do not speak your language. The way a host will always make sure you are fed before they eat. I have traveled to many countries, and I can honestly say that the warmth I have experienced in Thailand is something special. It is not performative, it is not transactional, it is just how people are, and it transforms the entire travel experience because you do not feel like a tourist extracting value from a destination. You feel like a guest being welcomed into someone's home. Let me tell you about one of the most spiritually profound experiences Thailand offers. The meditation retreats. Thailand has a deep tradition of Vipassana meditation, and there are monasteries throughout the country that welcome visitors for stays ranging from a few days to several months. You wake up at 4 in the morning, you sit in silence, you eat 2 simple vegetarian meals before noon and nothing else for the rest of the day. You walk slowly through forest paths practicing mindful movement. There is no phone, no music, no conversation, just you and your own mind. It sounds brutal, and honestly the first day or 2 usually are, but something happens around day 3 or 4. The mental noise starts to settle. The constant chatter that most of us live with every day begins to quiet down. And in that quiet, you start to notice things. The feeling of air entering your lungs, the sound of insects in the trees, the way thoughts arise and dissolve like clouds. People come out of these retreats fundamentally changed, not in a dramatic way, but in a subtle and lasting one. They are a little calmer, a little more present, a little more okay with being alive. Now let us talk about something completely different to shift the energy. Thai festivals. Songkran, the Thai New Year, happens every April, and it is the most fun I have ever had with a bucket of water. The entire country turns into a massive water fight. People line the streets armed with water guns, hoses, buckets, and anything else that can hold liquid. Pickup trucks drive slowly through town with barrels of ice water in the back while passengers douse everyone in sight. Strangers soak each other and then laugh together. It goes on for 3 days. 3 days of absolute joyful chaos. The origin of Songkran is actually quite beautiful. Traditionally, people gently poured water over the hands of elders as a sign of respect and to wash away the old year. They would also bathe Buddha statues in fragrant water. That tradition still exists alongside the modern water warfare, and there is something wonderful about watching a grandmother carefully pour scented water over a golden Buddha, while behind her two teenagers are absolutely destroying each other with super soakers. Then there is Loy Krathong, the Festival of Lights, which happens in November on the full moon. People gather along rivers, lakes, and canals and release small floating offerings made from banana leaves, flowers, candles, and incense. The idea is to let go of grudges, anger, and negativity, sending them away on the water. Watching thousands of tiny lights drift downstream under a full moon is one of the most ethereal sights I have ever witnessed. In Chiang Mai, they also release sky lanterns, and the night sky fills with hundreds of glowing paper balloons rising silently into the darkness. It looks like the stars are falling upward. I want to address something important before we wrap up. The question of responsible tourism. Thailand receives millions of visitors every year, and that volume of tourism creates real challenges. Coral reefs suffer from careless snorkelers. Elephant camps that offer rides often have disturbing practices behind the scenes. Over-tourism can strain local resources and drive up prices for residents. If you are planning to visit, please do your research. Choose ethical elephant sanctuaries where the animals are rescued and allowed to roam freely rather than being forced to perform or carry riders. Use reef-safe sunscreen. Respect local customs, particularly when visiting temples. Cover your shoulders and knees. Remove your shoes. Speak softly. These are sacred spaces. Support local businesses. Eat at street stalls and family restaurants instead of international chains. Buy crafts directly from artisans. Use local guides. Your money goes so much further when it stays in the community rather than flowing to a corporate headquarters somewhere else. Thailand gives so much to its visitors, the least we can do is give something back.